I'm Lyndsey Cavey. Austin and I and a couple of our buddies, Timbra and Justin included, started All for Love Cattle Company about 2010-11 is when we officially became All for Love Cattle Company. We've been flanking bulls for a couple years.
I'm Timbra Arendt. I am a partner with All for Love Cattle Company along with my husband Justin. We've been friends with Austin and Lyndsey for, it feels like a lifetime, but it's I don't even know if it's been 10 years yet, but we got involved with them after Justin and Austin started riding together, and then they retired from bull riding and decided to start this whole bull breeding business, and here we are a few years later, still going at it.
I feel like I definitely would not have been involved in rodeo if it weren't for Austin. We met when we were in high school, and he rode bulls way back then, obviously, up until he was in his late 20s. And when he was finished riding because of injury, he was too stubborn to walk away from the sport. And we had started to accumulate some rider bulls, so we kind of switched gears from riding to raising bulls, and it wasn't long after that that I started to pique my interest flanking bulls. I'd flanked a few of them for practice, and then we started raising bulls, and I really started getting into the training aspect and seeing what it was like to handle them and see them in the buck and shoot, and without him I don't think that any of that would have happened.
Well, I was raised by a bull rider. My dad was a bull rider. My grandpa did rough stock, so I've been in the rodeo lifestyle since I can remember, but living in Alaska, there wasn't a whole lot of rodeo going on. But then, I met Justin, and he got interested in bull riding and started bull riding, and then thankfully hooked up with Austin, which led me to Lyndsey. And honestly, for the longest time, I was actually kind of like a quiet partner with all of it, because I'd come out and hang out, but I knew maybe 2 or 3 bulls' names, and I wasn't really that involved. And then one day Austin called Justin, he goes, "Hey, Timbra's gonna flank a bull this weekend," and I'm doing a what? This what? And so I actually learned how to flank at the event. And here we are 3 years later, and I got bit by a bug, and I love it. It's so much fun, and getting to do something that, hell, I never thought I was gonna do this in my 30s.
Right.
But I'm thankful for everything that we have, because Justin and Austin's friendship led me to Lyndsey's friendship, and she's literally like my person. And so I'm just the support systems are very important. We support each other, we support each other's kids, our husbands support us, our families.
Right. Confidence in this industry is huge, because nerves can take over really easily, and you can get down on yourself. You got a calf that's got a bad out, and it's really hard to take the first few times that happens. You've got high hopes and high expectations, and when that doesn't, when you don't see it through, it's frustrating. And so having a good support system behind you, somebody to fall back on, hey, can we talk about this? What could I have done better? It's really nice to have, and I think we've built that into the way that our business is structured. Having, Justin and Timbra along with Austin and I, it makes it easier. The kids have each other, and we're a, big group going down the road, and people, I think, have reached out to us because of that. The Buckers is where we started, and I would say that of the Buckers events, Brush is probably my favorite. Yeah. It's usually really hot. But it's a fun event. It's a good atmosphere. A lot of people usually show up at that event, so it's kind of a big deal. I remember the first year we went to Brush, Katie Perschbacher brought Shifting Gears, and that was the first time I realized who he was, and I was starstruck. That is so cool, that bull's leading the world, and it was just, I guess I carry that with me. That was the first one that really made an impression, and it kind of stuck with me.
The local Colorado ones, Brush is definitely one of the fun ones, but the one that really stood out to me, especially this year, was Sarah McCoy's Tulsa Time Invitational, because it was the first all women. There was 70 some odd women there, and it was just cool because you had beginners, you had experts, you had we had 3 world champions there at the time, because we had Sarah, Katie, and Stacy. And so that was just awesome, because it was like, it showed what we could do as women in this sport and stuff. But another favorite was definitely have to be our first event that we hosted this year here in Brighton, the Flankum Rink Bucking Bonanza. It was awesome because it was our first, and we broke a world record, and it was awesome.
There's a lot of people out there that just want to help, like Timbra mentioned the Tulsa Time Invitational, and the coolest thing about that and what really stuck with me is, man, look at how many women we could get involved in this industry, and everybody was there to give a hand up to the next one in line, and I think that was really cool.
Because Sarah was with every single one of us behind that buck and shoot, supporting us and all that, and honestly, we've created a little family with some of the Buckers Unlimited women. We're all there. We stand behind the chutes even if our bulls are done, and we cheer everybody on. Her wins are my wins are her wins. That's how I've always looked at it.
So it's nice, you can build a little community within the women and feel safe there.
They're all different.
Oh yeah.
You have some that are can be, I wouldn't necessarily say sweet, but you got some that you could go touch them in the alleyway and they'll let you kind of love on them and stuff like that. You got some like mine this year that if you try to touch him, he'll blow snot at you. They all have their, it's just like people, they all have their different personalities, and sometimes you guys get along, sometimes you butt heads.
I can honestly say that I don't think there's been 2 that I've worked with that have been the same.
Yeah.
You gotta learn the animal, really. There's people out there that can go flank whatever bull that runs in the box and do just fine, and I think that's great. And that's just how they are. Experience will bring that, but I really feel like getting to know them and seeing how they react. I don't mind the ones that fight the chute a little bit. I like to work with them and gain their trust.
I want you here with me. Am I out of my
we'll just be randomly talking, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, that'd be a really good bull name. With my husband's bull last year, Good Googly Moogly, we were sitting around a fire camping, and this song comes on, and we're all sitting there going, that'd be a really good bull name. And lo and behold, there he went. But we have a list that we've looked at, and 9 times out of 10 we don't even follow the list. But a lot of it, I feel it's kind of their personalities, or just what they kind of like my bull last year, his name was Kung Fu Panda because he was ball faced with black eyes, so he kind of had that panda look, and that's how I came up. Well, you actually came up with that one.
I tipped you off to it. And then she was mad at me because we looked back in his bloodlines, and she's like, because I think his mom goes back to Saved by the Bell or something, and
you couldn't even
she was like, oh man, I wish I would have known. And it's fun. It's definitely a game thing. We don't want to waste. My son he's come up with some good ones. We're kind of the opinion that we don't really want to waste a good one, on one that might not cut it, so they get to earn their names. And so sometimes they just run around as a number for a very long time. I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to come into this industry, and there's a lot of open arms out there that are willing to accept people and take them under their wing, and partnership looks a whole lot different depending on who you talk to and what you're looking for. And if if you have an idea of what it is that you're looking for, say I want to own a bull but I'm not going to go to the events, or I'd like to learn how to do this and eventually flank, or I want to buy this bull and I want to flank it, there's a lot of different opportunities, and I would really suggest you get out to events and talk to as many people as you can, and just kind of formulate in your own mind what it is that you're looking for, and there's somebody out there that will match exactly what you need.